Open of Virginia, live from Independence Golf Club.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 2025 State Open of Virginia special. Once again this year, Independence Golf Club in Midlothian is hosting the best golfers from across the Commonwealth to determine this year's champion. 7 former champs are in this year's field. We will hear from 2 of them in a few moments. But first, we want to get you caught up on what happened during today's opening round of play. Sunny skies and hot temperatures met the field starting earlier this morning on 18. Scott Shingler out of Haymarket carded a 3 under 67, one of the best rounds of the morning. He was matched by 57-year-old Steve Serrao. Each of them are tied inside the top 10. On the 15th hole, rising James River Jr. Luca Rinaldi chips in for birdie, and he finds himself near the top of the leaderboard as well. Back to 18, Larkin Gross from Northern Virginia. A fantastic approach on his second shot to within 4 feet. He would make that birdie for an opening round 63 that has him 1 shot clear of the rest of the field. Let's check your first round scores where we can show you that Gross is at 7 under par. He has a 1-shot lead over Rob Kinder of Williamsburg, who shot a 6 under 64. Then a logjam of players 4 shots back, including Rinaldi, Serrao, and Shingler. 6 other golfers are 5 shots back at 2 under par. 37 golfers altogether, including former champion Connor Burgess, shot even par or better. Gross is coming off a second-place finish earlier this week at the State Open of Maryland. Serrao is one of the state's top senior golfers, but he's hitting well with several players half his age. They all reflected on Friday's opening round.
So I've been playing well, and it was nice to just kind of keep it rolling. And yeah, my game's actually been in a great spot for I would say almost a month. I've been working really hard on my swing, and got a new putter in the bag that has just passed with flying colors for me so far. So yeah, it's been awesome. But when you're playing from the fairway today on this golf course, you can attack a little bit. Even some of the pins were in some tough spots, but I feel like we did a good job of being in the fairway, and when you're there, you can play a little bit more aggressive. If you're in the rough, you got to be super conservative.
But yeah, my expectations was just have fun, because I told my wife when I left, nobody has expectations of me. I just come out here and have fun. Might be my last State Open, who knows? So just enjoy it, and I did. Had a great day.
How freeing is that?
It's very freeing, Lane. It's very freeing, because I play a lot of senior events, and it's fun being one of the top 4 or 5 guys in the state. But I have expectations, other players have expectations, and I don't ever want to let up.
I think most importantly is you've got to get it in the fairway. If you're not in the fairway, you are fighting in the rough, because it is thick, and you lose control of your ball with the spin into the greens, and sometimes you can't even get it to the green. It's so tough. So you've got to get the ball in the fairway.
Powhatan's Jay Woodson didn't have the opening round that he was hoping for today, finishing with a 4 over 74. But this tournament remains one that will always be on his schedule. Last year, he nearly became just the 3rd golfer in history to win a 5th State Open title. Our Sean Robertson caught up with Woodson earlier this week to talk about that playoff last year and why, no matter his game or his schedule, he will always make an appearance in this event.
Here with 4-time State Open of Virginia champion Jay Woodson, who set a course and tournament record last year in the final round, a 9 under 62 a year ago about this time. How did that round, help you prepare for this year's tournament?
Yeah, that's a once in a career type round of golf, right? You don't go out with the intent of shooting 62 and then actually pull it off. So it doesn't happen that often, but I think the neat thing is to know, if you don't get off to a great start, you've got that firepower there, and it's available if you need to kind of dig deep and go get it.
And you were 1 ball revolution away from going to a second playoff hole. How often does that play in your mind?
I try not to think about that putt too often, but I think you go back and you try to drum up some of those memories of all the other shots that went well, and just like I said, know that firepower is in there, and it's available. Sometimes it's harder to pull it out as often as you'd like.
Now, you played in this tournament a long time, played here at this course a long time. We haven't seen a lot of rain come down in this area in quite some time. The call up for rain again this weekend.
Gosh, I know.
How does that affect your preparation going into the weekend rounds?
Yeah, I think you definitely pay attention to it, and you know that there's some holes that are going to play a little longer if the fairways stay wet. But at the same token, the greens will be a little bit more receptive too. So maybe some of the longer shots won't play quite as difficult. But again, the weather is very unpredictable, and you never know how it's going to pan out. So I know that the staff of the MAPGA and the VSGA, and I know the superintendent here, Dan Taylor, would love to have no rain and have all the control to make the course set up the way that they would like. But if we do get some rain, yes, I think there's little things that you can do, just knowing that fairway's a premium, and then if you've got some longer clubs, you may have a chance to stop the ball close to the hole.
And you had some cliff notes of the course because you played in the Pro-Am on Wednesday. How did that help you out?
It was good. I think the course was in great shape. I know they had one hole that had some trouble from the winter, but outside of that, the course looks great. I've made a point to try to get out here and putt these greens. They're very good. They always roll great. It's just reading these little subtle breaks here are very difficult. So I've tried to make a point to come out early and spend more time on the greens and putt a little bit more. So that was the third time I had been out to get out on the golf course. So it certainly helps. And I feel like I'm getting closer. In the past, I'd say I'd figure it out by the back nine on Sunday, but I'd like to get it figured out a little sooner.
You were so close last year to win a fifth. What would it mean this year if you're able to grab it for a fifth time?
Every single one of them is important. I know it was nice to get the consolation check, but I've told people before I'd trade the check in for the trophy any day. So anytime you get to hold a trophy with a full field like this, it's such a special thing. And all these guys are so many good players, amateurs and pros here, and they're all really, really talented. So if you're able to win, at the end of the week and hold the trophy, it's awesome.
Absolutely. Hey, appreciate the time. Good luck to you this weekend.
No problem. Thank you.
Going for a fifth championship. It's a select few that has accomplished that goal. Jay is hoping to join that group this weekend. Lane?
Coming up, we'll talk with another former champion who has overcome an injury to make some noise at the professional level. Welcome back, everyone. As we mentioned earlier, there are 7 former champions in this year's State Open of Virginia field, including one that has been making a little bit of noise on what's called the Corn Ferry Tour. Former Mills Godwin standout Mark Lawrence Jr. won both the State Open and the State Amateur in the same year 5 years ago. Since then, he's been battling a nagging wrist injury that has required multiple surgeries and procedures. He's now pain-free, and earlier this spring made 3 straight cuts on the PGA's top developmental circuit. He comes into this year's State Open feeling better about his game and his health than he has in years.
This is the longest stretch of golf I've gotten to play since I graduated college. Just dealing with injuries, my wrist has been a real issue for the last 4 years. But that, I started playing last September, and I'd been able to play up until that point, which, gave me nearly a year to really get back in the flow of things. And I felt like I was really getting back to where I was in the past, and just trying to continue to grow off of that is the goal for the rest of the year.
As the VSGA geared up for this weekend's State Open at Independence, there's only one new golf course opening in the Commonwealth this year, and it's actually the repurposing of one of Williamsburg's oldest courses. Golden Horseshoe in Colonial Williamsburg unveiled a new short course called the Shoe earlier this month. It sits on their old Spotswood course, which was the original 18 holes on the property dating back to the early 50s. The new par 3 course is 9 holes ranging in lengths from around 40 to 150 yards. It was the brainchild of one of Golden Horseshoe's oldest members, but will hopefully appeal to some of the youngest players in the game. The Shoe also signals a shift in how today's players fit golf into their schedules.
A lot of people don't have time for 5 hours at the golf course or 6 hours plus with lunch, but this gives golfers an opportunity to go out and play 9 holes in an hour or less, really. And so now time isn't the huge factor it used to be.
Thank you for joining us for our State Open of Virginia special. We'll have coverage of this weekend's play on air and online at WTVR.com. For everybody here at CBS 6, I'm Lane Casadante. So long.